Okay. I ain't turned the receiver on. All right, man.
What's happening?
GiGi Magick, man.
Yes, sir. J Matt, what's going on?
I appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you stopping up to the platform.
No doubt.
I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
I feel like this is gonna be a good one right here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Album coming out soon, July 4th.
Yes, sir.
Sliding all summer.
Slide all summer, man.
That's an aggressive title.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We got to keep it moving, man. I mean, there's so many definitions to slide just over the years. You know what I'm saying? Whether you letting something go by, whether you know what I'm saying, actively participating in something, but whatever that is, we getting active all summer. So yeah,
I like that. I like that. My first question I have for you is the name GiGi Magick.
Yeah,
I'm so curious as to how you got the name GiGi Magick and what does that name actually mean to you as far as your brand goes.
Yeah, man. GiGi Magick. That's a good name with 2 G's for good game. And you know, it's just all about keeping it player, man. I was really inspired by the old players of yesteryear. My father, my uncle, James, OG Pretty Tony from St. Clair, you know what I'm saying, Scatterbrains, and you know, people from that era, man, Max Julian, just that whole energy, trying to invoke that suave and that charisma and bring it back, and you know, let them know that a little finesse, a little class, a little good game will get you a long way.
No, I like that. Yeah. What about the magic part?
Oh, magic, man. I mean, it's magic at the highest form, man. High magic is, you know, spelled with a K. Magic with a C is more like rabbit out the hat magic tricks. But you know, if you were to perform a miracle, that's like magic with a K. You know, so it's a miracle game, man. It's just coming through with something old, something spiritual, something infinite, solid soul. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I could tell you put a lot of thought not only into your name, but the music as well. Because I noticed your style. I was going back in the archives, man, just to get familiar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he got a lot of soul in his music.
Appreciate it.
And that whole explanation, it means a lot. Tell me, like, who was some of your musical influences coming up,
man,
to help you develop this style?
It started off with anything my father was playing, with my mother, Curtis Mayfield, Parliament, Funkadelic, Marvin Gaye, things of that nature. Church music, my mom was a choir director when I was a little bit younger. And my love since I was about 2 or 3 years old has been rap music. Just that's been the forefront. Hip hop, good classic rock and roll, blues, good old American music. I'm trying to bring that feeling back. You know, the hits of yesteryear, man, the hits that our parents grew up on or our older siblings grew up on were still hits when we were a kid. If we hopped in the car, went on a road trip, you know, something from 79 was still a hit in the 90s. You know, it was, you know, we all grew up on those records. I don't know if the records right now have longevity. And I'm here to bring that old feeling back.
I like that. I like that whole idea. And just, I got to ask you, just on some current events, based off of what you just said.
Yeah.
How do you feel about rappers evolving and trying to stay relevant at the same time as they get into the later years of their career?
If you're not evolving as a human being, then evolving as an artist is a moot point. It's pointless. Some people try to be conscious because it's the cool thing to do. They're like, I have to talk about something. You got a lot of rappers that talk about being revolutionaries, but what is the revolution they're talking about? They talk around things. And then you have artists that stay true to themselves and you see them grow in aesthetic. It might be slowly but surely. You see them return the points that they made when they were younger, but they return with different clarity. That's the right growth that you want. You don't want somebody that's acting like they're doing something progressive and trying to incite something in you. Because that's not good. You want rappers that let you think for yourself just like they think for themselves.
Any thoughts with everything that's been going on with big homie Jim Jones and his persona as the oldest YN, I should say.
Yeah.
And how he's basically using his methods to stay relevant. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Shout out to Jim, big Dipset fan. They were very instrumental in my life, especially during high school when I started to, formulate who I was going to be as a rapper. Jim, he changed the culture. Like I watched it happen in real time while it was happening. Just how he was moving and the type of dude he was, and that has so much more weight than just what he was doing on the microphone. Now, respectfully, Nas is also one of the greatest artists of all time. But Jim got the culture moving to where it is. And whatever he's doing personally, whether y'all feel he growing or not, that's really up to to the individual to say. But I ain't got nothing against Jim. I watched Jim change the culture. You have to be there.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Let's get to this album though, man.
Yeah. Slide all summer, man.
Let's get to it. What's the title all about? And what's the inspiration behind this album, this project?
The inspiration behind this album was just really just putting out good summer vibes, man. Something smooth you could play at the cookout. I wanted to make music that reminded me of the music I grew up listening to with family and friends, especially during the times I was growing up and formulating my own opinion on life and the pursuit of happiness. And we got a lot of different vibes from smooth R&B, trap, soul to straight up, old school trap music. We got like a lot of new type of shit, like real slizzy vibes, real up tempo. We keep it in the party, but there's substance at every corner. There's not a single song on there that's fluff. Every word I put on there, I meant, so look for that.
I definitely noticed one thing when I listened to it through. I noticed you got something for everybody on that album. That's a fact.
Appreciate that.
First thing that came to my mind was this is the whole vibe. This is some riding, smoking, and relaxing. It's definitely something for everybody. So when it comes to like, how did you get into that skill set where you were able to have so much range and ability?
Really just being open-minded to music. Like in high school, I listened to everything all my friends were listening to, but then I listened to everything that was whack to them as well. Like I wasn't trying to fit in back then. So like my 15th birthday, my mom bought me Queen's Greatest Hits. Cause I begged for, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Another One Bites the Dust. I studied those kind of records, like records that were big in commercial success as well as big in personal impact and outreach. And I'm kind of trying to recreate that for myself. And yeah.
So you study actual music. Like it's not a situation where you just listening to what you like.
No, I started playing music at 5 years old. Like the choice was piano or violin. Like not playing an instrument was not a choice in my household. That was law, that was mandatory. So I played violin from about 5 to 14. Being a teenager, an early teenager, I started to become more self-aware, and really I realized there weren't a lot of black males around me doing what I was doing. I got into the Cleveland Music Settlement Youth Orchestra. I was pretty good. I was the second violinist. Probably one of maybe 3 black males in that whole section. And just being 14, I'm into girls, I wanted something different for myself. And I made a hard pivot towards this and I never turned back.
How many different instruments can you currently play?
Violin, a little bit of little piano. I could get on the drums, guitar. Guitar is my primary instrument that I play now. And I was really good at violin, so if I picked it up for about a month, I'd be right back at it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Guitars, man. That was if I could play any instrument, that would definitely be the
Oh
guitar,
yeah.
man. It's
That's
just something about
it can
them
sing.
strings, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very special instrument. It comes from the mother continent where all life comes from, Africa. And it's an instrument of rhythm. It's an instrument that morphs depending on who's holding it. Guitar sounds different. You hear a jazz guitarist, a black guy from a certain time and place, he plays a certain kind of way. You hear a blues guitarist, you got black bluesmen and white bluesmen, they play a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? A heavy metal guitarist ain't a punk rock guitarist.
Right.
It's not a reggae guitarist.
Yeah.
But then you got reggae guitarists that are good punk rock guitarists. Like it's a language. Yeah, man. I
No,
love
for real.
guitar. Yeah,
No, for real.
yeah, for sure.
Now I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm noticing the whole vibe that you got going on. You giving me some Terrence Howard vibes, the real high energy, high vibration vibes. I'm noticing the medallions, the jewels.
So
What type of spiritual lane not only are you on, but how does that play into the music that you put out?
um I believe in a higher power, God the creator. I believe that we are all beings of light, and we were put here to learn and help one another move forward and progress and gain more knowledge. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to learn from everybody out here, and I'm here to teach as well. It's a give and take situation. So that's what I'm on.
We're gonna get back to the album. I do want to
Yes, sir.
ask you. I just recently figured out that you was from the Heights, man. So it's
Yes, sir.
always good to sit
Born
down
and raised.
with a fellow brethren from the Heights, man.
Yeah.
The one and only the Heights.
Yeah, man.
What type of uh, influences and the type of situation that you had growing up in the Heights? Because Heights is very diverse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did that play into your
Um,
sound?
Man, I mean, just being in the Heights, I met all kinds of kids, different backgrounds. I'd be able to trade CDs. I would have a Jay-Z CD. I'd trade it for this rock CD that a kid was listening to. And, I would get, just different perspectives on things, man. Especially when I was in high school, there was a really cool music scene around here. Shout out to GF Goodfellas. They was one of the first groups around this neighborhood that I saw actively like branding and marketing themselves, and where I looked and I was like, oh, that's something to do. So shout out to them. My dude, Maul G, Ski Mask Marley, STR, J Ball. Those were dudes that were influences to me around this neighborhood, and just being able to watch them do their thing motivated me to push forward. I've always loved this neighborhood. It's a melting pot. You come to the Heights and you get a perspective on what the real world is like.
Facts.
As far as connections, yeah, and things like that. You could go to different neighborhoods. Everything has a different feel, and Cleveland is wonderful overall, but the Heights is the real melting pot of the city.
I co-sign that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, when I listened to the album, it was 2 tracks that I listened to that stood out.
Okay.
Had to ask you about these 2 tracks.
Yes, sir.
Because I feel like these 2 tracks connect in a lot of ways. So I'm anxious to hear how they connect. The first one was, I think it was track 14. It's titled 07.
Okay.
And then the next one, 15, is Insane.
Okay.
Both them tracks hit.
Okay.
They spoke to me in a different way, but I want to hear
the
inspiration, man.
07 in parentheses, RP Shawty Lo, Immortal Shawty Lo. That was just a spirit, that was a vibe. Trap music was its purest back then. If you really love rap, street rap, southern rap, like 06, 07, 08, that was that golden time. Went to the 1079 birthday bash at the Agora. and Shawty Lo performed, and that was one of the most epic shows I've seen in my life. When you're talking about crowd control, you could talk about people being MCs and who's not, and what internet personalities and all of that stuff. When that man jogged out on stage, you know, he used to do his little dance. By the time he got to the big up to all my haters, it was like that's what Moses was doing, parting the Red Sea. Crowd control. It was spiritual.
Yeah.
You feel me? Immortal Shawty Lo. So I just wanted to recapture that feeling, where I was at mentally back in '07. I wanted to take all the cats that was here kind of back to that vibe and really give them something raw and real. Take it back to that mixtape era.
Now, the other thing that stood out for me on '07, because I noticed lately, ever since I started following you on the gram too, you've been popping your shit lately. Yeah. I like what I'm hearing, man. I like the energy. I'll be on that time.
So yeah.
Now, you did mention how you was popping your shit in '07.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that time in your life as it pertains to that track.
I was young. I mean, fresh out of high school. That was senior year / the first year I was out here as an adult. I just started recording my first material and was meeting all the artists in the city for the first time, kind of branching out from my parents' nest and really going out, man. And I had to make it known who I was and what my stance was. If you grew up in Cleveland Heights, you know, throughout the city at certain times, certain areas, it was always a target on your back. Like somebody felt like you had to validate yourself, especially if you putting out music.
Right.
And I was one of the few. Ski Mask Marley can attest to that. You know, he was with me, and we had to really go out here and let it be known who we were, and that we demanded respect, and we gave respect as well. But you know, sometimes you have to get an understanding by force. You know.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Now you did say as well that you know you might have been in the streets a little bit at that time.
Yes, sir.
And that's kind of how I wanted to see if that transitioned into the track Insane, because you did. I remember you saying, you know, I was fighting for my life in prison.
Yeah.
What put you in that position, and how was that time that you was moving back then like a big lesson learned?
Right, for sure. So yeah, I did 8 years in prison, felonious assault with a firearm. You know, moving in the streets, trying to sustain yourself financially, trying to get a career popping, trying to figure yourself out as a young man in the world. That's a difficult thing. You know, I found myself in a situation where it was my life, or, you know, it was the people that I felt like were trying to take my life. And I did what I had to do, and, you know, by the grace of God, you know, everybody's cool, and I'm home, and I was able to transition my life through much contemplation, much prayer, and you know, we on a new wave now. But that does, what you asking me, coincide with that song Insane. Going through prison, the places I've been, there are times where you have to hold your mind together because the walls are closing in. You're not getting out. You can't move how you want to move. People aren't always picking up. They're not always there for you. So you have to be able to hold yourself, sustain yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's kind of what that's about. As a black man, I think you can understand too. People don't always ask if we're okay.
Facts. Yeah.
They're like, oh, he got it.
Yeah.
That's big dog got it.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
We all heard that.
Yeah, like people say, man, you crazy, but they don't ask you how you're doing. You know? And that's kind of, I was just communicating that, like, yeah, we got feelings too. We go through trauma too. You know, everything is not as black and white as some may see it.
And it is still Men's Mental Health Month while we at it.
Yeah,
By the time this
Shout
come out, it's gonna be over with.
But
But
so,
I appreciate
but
that, man.
so,
That's gonna touch a lot of people.
Every
for sure.
June, every June.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell me your favorite tracks on this album.
Man, okay. I gotta say for one, Fetish. That's a great track. Number 5 charting on Band Lab's trending R&B internationally right now. You know, so it was always a good track to me. But anything that puts me in front of people like that,
Right.
I gotta say it first.
Right.
Because it did it for me. I didn't even put it out for that reason. I just woke up one day and got a notification from Band Lab that I was trending in R&B music.
Congrats.
And thank you. Yeah, so that's a good one for me. Other songs I really love. Way Too Slizzy, great vibe, great piano feel on that. You know, just kind of big, soulful. Trust. Shout out to Starboy, great, phenomenal producer, good energy. Trust, that's a good record, man. I'm really excited to shoot a video to that one. Yeah.
I am curious, man. You was talking about how you was recently in a competition.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that
Okay.
and how things is going with that situation.
Okay, so America's Next Top Hitmaker. It's a competition, and it's partnered with Rolling Stone magazine. The winner gets $50,000 towards their career. They get to perform at the Global Citizen Festival, which is it's a big festival where they're donating to charity and whatnot. But it is also a good outlet for musicians to get on that stage. Like once you're on that stage, you're pretty much broken as an artist. Like you're just out there.
Okay.
And I entered into it on random for real, and turns out I've just been moving up through the rounds. Now I'm currently in the top 5, and they'll be voting for the finalist of this round this upcoming Thursday. So I'm very excited.
What's needed to push you over the hump, you think?
Votes. You just gotta click in and vote. I got the link in my bio. You could GiGi Magick at the nextstophitmaker.com, and yeah, just votes. Just people taking the time to click and vote. It'll only takes you logging into your Facebook. It's free. You can donate, you know what I'm saying, a couple dollars towards more votes, but just to give me a one vote is free. The only thing you're paying is a little bit of time and attention. You know, but more than anything, I'm really just enjoying myself, just being out here. It's good to be able to compete after all these years. How many 36-year-old rappers can compete up against 20-year-olds? Stay in the competition, hold their head high, not look silly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a win to me. You know, like all the other stuff, they could keep that. But yeah.
Now, for the competition, did you have to submit any like original work? Was it an old track? Did you make something specifically for the competition? Did you have to submit an album? How did that work?
No, I just really signed up and gave them links to a few of my things, and then they just approved me for the competition. I think there's certain things that they look for, you know, for sure, but they try to just leave that a little open. They let a lot of people through. And then all the criteria just starts to get more strict and strict as time goes on. But I'm still in the race. I mean, top 5. That's good, man.
Now I'm curious. Like I'm not you know, I follow a lot of artists, but got a couple of homies that's artists as well. But yeah. I'm curious. I want to hear your input because I think it's super impressive for you to be pretty much producing all your own music, engineering.
Yeah.
Like that skill set, like how did you hone in on being able to do all those different things while putting the lyrics down?
Out of necessity, really just coming home and not having the access to my old engineer the way I used to, not really having access to a bigger studio the way I used to. And I just kind of looked into things, and once I found out that I had the ability to record myself, I'm like, well, here it goes. And I'm cutting out that middleman experience. If you're working in a random studio and you're working with an engineer that might like you enough as a person, but it's not really invested in what you have going on, then their opinions kind of tend to come into the work. They might not like how you record. They might not like that you use auto tune or don't use auto tune or want to do this and want to do that when you're really the creative, you know. So if you're able to record yourself and take that other person that's not making your music out of the situation, well, why wouldn't you?
And I gotta imagine, as far as financially, less hands in the pot got to be a whole benefit
Oh
as well.
yeah. If a label wanted to sign me right now, I don't need any kind of an advance for recording, you know, unless they was just gonna pay for a bunch of features or something like that. I mean, they just gotta give me a signing bonus because I record myself. I mix and master myself. If they want the masters, they gotta buy them from me. But I'm probably gonna buy them back. So yeah,
That gotta feel good, man. Just having that amount of control, just knowing that you could put out what you want to when you want to do it.
most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Not have to listen to that extra input from corporate suits.
Most definitely, man. No, it's just fun to just be able to just work on your project and show people what you're about. I think sometimes artists get obsessed with getting signed, and they don't really understand that if you build something up on your own, you build the look, you build the feel, you build it to where people can smell it. People will come in and invest on what you've built. But when you're just like, I'm talented, sign me, they might sign you, but they're gonna want to turn that into their version of you. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. If you could control the narrative and make your art as pure as possible, why wouldn't you?
That's a good point, because
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, the age of the A&R is kind of going away. Do you feel like artists are responsible to be their own A&R at this point in time?
Kind of, sort of. The age of the good A&R is out the way. You got a lot of young people fresh out of college that are just getting paychecks, and they like that they're in the mix, and they like that they get DMs about, can you help me, bro? Can you help me, sis? And they love being in the mix of that, but they don't really know a lot about music. They just kind of know social media, kind of know computers. So yeah, the age of somebody coming in that knows more about your music than you do or your biggest fan do when they come to meet you. When these guys used to come and meet you, like they would have done so much research and been so into your sound and developing it and taking it to the next level. Those days are over with, man. So yeah, do it for yourself as long as you can. These people are good. People are still out there, but don't wait for them to come. Set the fire yourself. The people gonna come. Yeah.
Let's get into this, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into this whole recent drama that you done fell into, man, with the homie DDG. I seen it on the story. I definitely was waiting on this, man, so everybody could get more insight into exactly what went down, man. What's the situation with you with DDG?
Okay. So the first time I heard of DDG, like ever heard that name, I was locked up. I came across his song Moonwalking in Calabasas. You know what I'm saying?
It's a dope track.
Big Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
So anytime I see somebody put Moonwalking in something, I just kind of clicked on it on the little JPay thing. You know what I'm saying? If you know somebody locked up or you've been locked up, you know what JPay is. And I liked it. I spent my own money on it. I bought it for $1.52. Y'all out here don't buy songs no more. We was still buying songs in the joint. So I invested in Lil Bruh. You know, and then life went on. He put out an open call for artists to reach out to him. He was looking for artists, people with talent. He said, hit me up. He didn't say hit me up for any specific reason, but, you know, I figured it was just about collaborating. I figured he might be trying to sign artists or trying to do some kind of workshop or something. So I tagged myself in the post, asked some friends and fans to do the same. They did. Didn't think much of it. He's like 40,000 comments on the post. Why would you think much of it? So a couple days later, I get a DM from DDG. You know, I look, it's DDG's real page. It's not a fan page, not a, you know, it's from DDG. And he's saying, yo, I'm just now checking this out. This is dope music, bro. You know, I tell him thank you. And he's like, yo, this is really solid. And he starts presenting ideas about, you know, collabing on a reel. So I'm like, cool, that, you know, that sounds dope. I'd be open to that. I asked him if he wanted to get on a phone call. Right about there, he's like, what's your budget? Now, I don't mind, you know, talking about budget, but you didn't put out a call saying, artists, hit me up if you got a couple of dollars, you know, I can do XYZ with you, which I've seen done before. I've seen Juicy J come into town and say, hey man, y'all got 6,000, hit up this number. Right. I'm in Cleveland. Yeah. I've seen it done. Yeah. So don't play with me.
That's a fact.
Okay. So I'm like, bruh, like this is a spur of the moment opportunity, but you know, I haven't had time to think about a budget. But you know, we could work something out. I'd be very interested in working on some material of yours, lending my skills to that. And maybe we could just swap features or something. So we just kind of kept it cordial. He didn't really have much to say back about that. And I just left it chill. About a day later, I'm kicking it with my fiance. We watching YouTube. You know, she's doing her nails. I see DDG got a new post with Caribou, some song that's being worked on. I click on it. And when it drops, my girl starts hitting my ad libs from a song of mine. And I turn to her, I'm like, babe, that's not my song. It's a song that sounds exactly like my song, but the melody is slightly different. The drum track is exactly the same. There are other sounds in the beat that are exactly the same.
I seen you put the overlay on there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
The melody's a little different. Now here's where it gets tricky. His cadence was different than mine, but as you saw with the overlay, when you lay mine on top of it, it's like we're singing in a round, like they used to do at the campfire kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here's where it get even trickier. My song is called Bad Little Bitch. His song is called Bad Bitch. So he did not steal lyric for lyric. He stole the subject matter. He stole kind of the flow, the presets on his vocals, the overall feel of the track is me. And what's so crazy about it is I would have did that for him for free. You know, I would have did that for him like easily had he asked. But you got to do something for me. I think he's used to dealing with young folk that are afraid of the numbers he has, that care about stuff like that. And he didn't realize that he, you know, got the wrong one, or maybe he got assistants that just reach out to people for him and do this kind of stuff. And by the time he realized it was too late, but either way, he really got the wrong one. And I just communicated that to him. It's not beef. It's not what I consider beef, coming from where I've come from and growing up throughout the 90s. We know what real beef is. That's just a disagreement between men. And I just want to put everything out on the flow, let y'all know what was going on. I could really care less, man. I got more off of the situation than he could ever get. He could have that little song, man. I done seen dudes on the internet calling him all out his name, calling him doo-doo garbage, and he won't, you know what I'm saying? He want to check them, but he not going to say nothing to me because he know he in the wrong. So that's it. We slid on him, slide all summer, dedicated the title track to him. I hope he enjoys it. Hope he loves it.
Yeah, you definitely dedicated some bars to old boy as well. What was it, track 21?
Yeah, track 21.
Yeah, man. No, you definitely slid on that one.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if he chooses to respond, he got to come correct, because I got everything out of the way for him. He can't Can't call me broke. I'm not impressed by the money stack in your hand. The number one purchase from rappers on the internet is fake money. So all of that stuff, you can't impress me with that. That doesn't really matter. Show me something of substance. Talk to me. You know, like I don't all that. Oh, well, you doing this and that. I don't care about that, bro. But yeah, man.
No, like you said, you put on for the city as well, not just the Heights, but Cleveland overall.
Love Cleveland. I mean, this is the place.
I see you had to put your foot down a couple times. Somebody else slid it to a DM. Who was that? Mr. Ari Spears had to get it too, huh?
Ari Spears, man. You know, he wanted to talk down on the city, say that Cleveland is a shithole, but Ari Spears is a shithole. So I just hollered back at him. You know, told him I didn't really like the things he was saying. I told him that I thought he was second rate, you know, compared to Jamie Foxx and Dana Carvey and all the amazing impressionists out there. And I also told him that I'm pretty sure he pays for pussy. And I don't think he liked that because he sent me a voice memo. And it wasn't very nice, but it's all right. It just made me laugh, man. It was fun more than anything.
Was the voice memo funny? Cause Aries ain't.
Bruh, it was unhinged. I really got to him. And that's what, you know, he tried to flex, talk about, I make this much a year, da 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 da. You make this look where you live, yada yada yada. But to me, with my clarity, with my life experience, with my maturity, if you're doing all these things, if you're really making millions, if you're this and that, my little comment doesn't mean anything. You hear it, you read it, you laugh, and you keep it moving. I clearly hurt his feelings. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Sometimes you got to shake things up, man. We didn't put celebrities up on a pedestal too much, man. Follow my work, don't follow me. I'm trying to do great things, but you don't need to praise me as a great man. You don't need to praise my every movement, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm about, man. Kind of dismantling this whole thing. That's what we see going on right now. Celebrities aren't what they once were. You know what I'm saying? We're not so concerned about what pop singer got up and drank this morning. I'm more interested in how celebrities are marketing themselves, what they're doing creatively, what they're doing intellectually to get them where they're at. That's what interests me. But to just praising somebody because they made a couple of dollars, that's kind of over with, man. I think we coming through new territory. We in a new threshold right now. Separating the real from the fake, it all comes out in the wash.
Now you talked about, you know, like your life experiences. You talked about the performance, the legendary performance, as you put it, with Shawty Lo. I'm curious, as far as your collaborations and artists that you work with, who would you put, and it's not a name dropping type of situation, but honestly, who would you say you are most proud of as far as an artist that you done collab with so far?
Most proud of DMC, man. Daryl McDaniels, man. Legendary Run DMC, man. Did a show with him around 2014, 15. Kicked it with him all afternoon. We kicked it like we was old friends, bro. That was one of the realest things. And to be such a legend, I mean, that's the rap name. Like if you're just in a foreign country and some like rap music, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like Run DMC.
Right.
Or, you know, like that's just one of those, that's like salt and pepper or, you know, like barbecue sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just there. So for him to, you know, be so chill, yeah. But like as far as like collaborations on a track that I've worked with, man, I mean, back in the day, the kick drums, man, that's one of the greatest production duos out of Ohio. I love working with them. Graf from New York. He's very talented MC, man. Did a couple shows with Schoolboy Q. Yeah, those are some of my favorites, some of my most proud moments.
Who would you want to work with? You know, DDG set aside at this point. Who's up on your list,
if
man?
bro would have done back and hop on the track in the right fashion, we could do it. Like I said, it ain't beat, but no, like somebody that's out currently. I mean,
Yeah, somebody that you wouldn't mind, you know, collabing with that's currently a musician that either is popping that as far as commercially or just somebody that you appreciate, you follow
okay,
on the low.
yeah, man. Love to do a track with love to do a track with Billie Eilish. I think that would be on point,
That's
man.
hard. I can hear that.
That would be some beautiful music right there. Summer Walker, Future. That's pretty much it. I like Cash Cobain. I like what bro got going on. Bro got a nice little sound, you know. Yeah, man. Really, anybody who got their own sound and who's really locked in. I just respect that. I respect the art form. Boy Max, I like what he got going on. I love the blend of production and streaming, and that the beats are quality and he's dropping albums. Like I like that stuff, man. Yeah, you know, I'm such a fan of music, bro. We could do a whole separate episode on people I'd collab with. That's like an hour long conversation for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely. But yeah.
If you could just like knowing everything you know now, going through everything you've been through, and then, you know, seeing what's ahead, if you could send a message back to your '07 self from where you at now, what would you say to a younger GiGi Magick?
Get in the gym, get on that pull-up bar. Gotta come shoulders, man. Gotta come shoulders, baby boy. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I'll tell them. No, I mean, real talk, man. Just stick to your craft. You're an originator. Ain't nobody always gonna tell you that. Ain't nobody gonna kiss your ass, boy. Get out there and keep making stuff. Keep doing what you love. Keep shining. Keep showing personality, man. And all the naysayers, they are wrong. That's what I tell them. But definitely get on that pull-up bar for sure.
That ain't never hurt nobody. Now, that's a good message, not only for yourself, but I was going to ask you, is that the same message you would give for a younger artist that of today right now?
Be yourself, man. Just stick to it, because everybody won't always get it. I didn't really get like '06 Gucci. Like I got it like as far as like stylistically, but the fact that he would put records out that like sounded like as if they weren't mixed, as a person that came up in music, I'm like, no, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. And he was like, nah, this is the way. That stuff going out the window. We doing this on our phones. We leaving the studio and headed to the club with the CD unmixed and playing it at the club. And then it's going viral on LimeWire or whatever. Was like, that's, right. You know, do what you feel. Everybody's not always going to get it. Some people like me in that situation are going to come around and realize I'm tripping. Sometimes they'll never realize it. Do you. Just be you, man. Be you. You're going to end up at the top. A lot of people that, I mean, you know, people that was on the bottom rung or kind of laughed at and talked about, oh, he can't rap back in '06, '07. A lot of those guys are legendary now. And a lot of the guys that we were saying were better than them, where they at? I ain't calling no names because you know who I'm talking about.
No.
You feel me? No. So that's just what it is, man. Yeah.
What's the pinnacle of this game, this rap game for you? Like, what it's going to look like for you where you be like, you know what? I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish. I've reached every goal. What does the height of your rap career look like in your mind's eye?
I mean, right now, man, I'm putting out amazing music. I'm excited about getting out on the road, hitting some festivals. That's it, man. Sky's the limit. I don't concern myself with I'm not trying to be Taylor Swift. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to. I mean, definitely not trying to be Taylor Swift, but not trying to get to necessarily that level. If it happens, cool. I'm ready for it. I got the work ethic. I love it. But man, just doing a couple festivals, being a strong creative. In this city, I know I've set the tone musically, man. It ain't no more accolades I can get as far as that, unless they just want to print up a plaque and put my face up on Coventry or something like that. Name a street after a nigga, you know what I'm saying? But like, this is it, man. Just putting out art. That's
So that I know that tour money is different, man.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I could completely understand trying to get back on them big stages, festival stages.
Got to get on road. Got to touch the fans. You know what I'm saying? And like, for real, it's fun. Now, doing a stadium or doing a festival, that's an experience because of how big it is, how many people, and being able to move with those people and feel that energy. That is quite the experience. But to me, the best show, a standing room venue, seats 400, sold out, packed, hot, sweaty, everybody in there, people hopping on stage. You know what I'm saying? You can still touch the people. You can still see almost every face to the back of the room. But that music sounds so good between those four walls.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing better than that. Because I even heard the Beatles say, John Lennon say, that he had wished he could go back to the smaller clubs after a while. Of course, he enjoyed the money of being that big, but he wanted to go back to when he was just popping enough. You know what I'm saying? After a while, creatively, you just want to go back to something chill, man. You know. But yeah, that tour money, yeah, got to get back to that.
Now, do you have any idea? Have you thought about, you know what I'm saying, once you accomplish that and you get that number in that account from them tours and them shows, what would be the one thing that you would want to do to give back, whether it's to the city that you love a lot or to any other artist?
Okay, real talk. So I would love to be able to start a program for kids just to learn how to do music on their own, like DIY music, learn how to produce, learn how to engineer themselves, learn how to become more open-minded and break through creatively. What does that look like? How do you open yourself to different vibes and perspectives and become this blank canvas? Because that's what an artist is. You got to be a blank canvas in order to paint a canvas. So I would love to share that with people and help the kids tap back into the art a little bit more. Kind of like a save the music sort of vibe. Yeah, man.
That sounds like along the lines of what late great Nipsey Hussle was trying to do in LA before he passed.
Yeah.
Just
shout out to Nip, neighborhood Nip.
Yeah, it sounds like the type of vibes that I'm hearing from you also.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to the big homie. Yeah, I mean, it's just about community, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? We gotta care about that next generation. And as far as artists, man, I would love to build the type of situation, the type of creative home where artists could come and release their material, you know what I'm saying, and get good exposure without having the pressure of a major label and all of those obligations, without the financial games and stuff. Just a place where somebody could come, create and build a solid body of work, and create other me's, just show people that it could be done. Because I built this from the ground up. Anybody can do it if they put their mind to it.
Gotta feel good. I know it.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Last question for you.
Yes, sir.
If somebody was, if you was going to say, you know what I'm saying, if somebody came up to you and was like, I want to know about GiGi Magick,
mm-hmm.
What would you point them to? Where would you direct them as far as any of your past works to be like, to get a good idea of where to start with GiGi Magick? Or is it this album?
I would say that this album touches on my DNA as an artist. So anybody that remembers me from back in the day, or records I might have worked on in the city, yeah, those for sure for people that have been with me. But this right here, I put my heart and my soul into this. These are the teachings that my grandma put in me, that my uncles put in me, that my father put in me. This is it's Cleveland music. It's hip hop. It's jazz. It's rock. It's a vibe. If you want to know about me, this is the music to do. But man, just look for good music anywhere. GiGi Magick is quality. So anything you listening to that's quality, that's what I'm on. So yeah, that's where you're gonna find me.
Matter of fact, I got one more question. Since
What's up?
Because you mentioned Cleveland, I want to know from a musician who's been around, like you've been put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you think that Cleveland has a sound?
Oh yeah, we got a sound, but it's a so okay, so Cleveland has always been a cross intersection, so you get a lot of like you get some Cali vibes, a little Atlanta, a little Texas here or there. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a mid-tempo sound. It's not an up-tempo. It's not slow and dragging like a lot of Texas stuff. It's mid-tempo. We got a lot of pianos, a lot of soulful, good voices. When you think of rappers from Cleveland, you think of good voices.
I like that.
Character-driven voices. If you Ray Cash on Delivery, early Chip the Ripper, Corey Bates, Pooh Gutter, Bad Boy Banky, Doughboy, the voices, all the way back to I forget remember Take a U Ride, North Side, East Side. Yeah. Voices. We've always had a sound and a unique perspective. We respect the lyricism that came out of the East Coast. We like the laid back from the West, and we love that bounce from the South, man. And Cleveland is definitely a mix of those. I would say more so than any other Midwest market. We are the most eclectic of all of those. That's no disrespect to anybody. Everybody got their sound and wave. But when you come to Cleveland, you hearing a little bit of the universe.
Like that.
Yeah.
Man. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Well, man, GiGi Magick, man. You heard it here first. Album coming July 4th.
Slide off summer.
Any last words for the people?
Let's keep sliding, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. Just look out. I got a little jewelry line coming real soon. You know what I'm saying? Some real fly shit.
I was gonna ask you what you thought about merch too, bro. So I'm glad you said that.
I'm gonna get y'all dripped out real soon. We coming with some quality merch. For me, merch is just about coming with quality. Even if you're not starting a clothing line, whatever piece you're doing of whatever article of clothing you're making, make it with that intensity. It's not just about slapping a logo on a t-shirt. So when I come with some merch, best believe I'm gonna get y'all dressed. So yeah.
Where should everybody follow you at? Where they can find your music?
Man,
where you streaming?
I'm streaming everywhere. I'm on Spotify, I'm on YouTube. You could do reels on the TikTok and on the Instagram, GiGi Magick, GIGI, Magic with a K at the end, man. That's a good name with 2 G's for good game. Yeah.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Most definitely, man.
Before we go, I definitely got to shout out my homeboy, Mont the Barber, for allowing us to use his space.
For sure. Shout out to him,
You know what I'm saying? We in the lab, Noble Road,
much respect
in the Heights.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Barber, J Styles. I said J Styles. That was my nickname back in the day.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But shout out to Styles as well, man. You sitting there in that man's chair, man. Two hot barbers in Cleveland, man. Noble Road.
No doubt, man.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to all my people down at Noble Food Deal, man. Mike, what's up, man? OG Mike, man. He hold the neighborhood down, man. That's the epicenter of culture right here on Noble, man. Go to Noble Food Deal for all of your groceries and your greenery. You feel me? Yeah.
There you have it.
For sure,
GiGi Magick.
Yeah, you know it.
My God. Love.
Yes, sir.